Hello, it's Kim. It is, I'm not going to remember the date this time. It's October 1st. Of course, that there is going to be a vehicle. I'm in Morgantown. So it's October 1st, 2023. Um, I'm in a hotel. Not in my car. It's better than that, right? So I'll be traveling over the next few month, really. Just so you know, October is probably gonna be my biggest, craziest month ever so far. Um, this week, in Morgantown, and then I go to Emily Dickinson's residence. It's now a museum, and then I get to write in her rooms for 2 hours, and sort of like bask in her ancient presence, which I've done virtually. And I have to admit, virtually was almost like a spiritual sort of thing. And now I'll actually be in the real thing. So it is a dream come true. And then I'll be going to Salem, Massachusetts. He can always like focus on a little bit of the occult, but I want to focus on the history. I'm only there for 2 days. So that is like the big things going on. And then I'll be back and forth to Morgantown. And then October 27th, the launch of my book. There'll be more details as things come out. Check everywhere. Okay. So the reading. I'm a huge like geek. So this is the Star Trek, The Next Generation. Oh yeah, that's the one, baby. I like them all that I've seen. I haven't even watched all of them. Enterprise, I didn't really see different things. Deep Space Nine is probably where I really ended it. But so these are my favorite. They're like the best. And then I also have, let me see if I can find the box. It's like a $5 off, like little like, yeah. Oh, excuse me. It's now only $3. Used to be more. And it is the Wake Inner Wisdom cards. So I'm going to be using those too. Those I will be shuffling and just like trying. Uh, the Star Trek ones are a little more complicated. So I already pre-drew our cards. Um, I have to admit that I know everyone knows that I'm bipolar. And like, so like I can like make bipolar jokes, right? But like this really feels like bipolar, not necessarily like the condition, but like, like polarities, like things are dueling within either the week or the month or however it works for you. You'll feel how it resonates. So our first card, I mean, it's always a decent card. It's the, excuse me, I have to look at the, two of starships. Yeah, sure. We'll go with it. It really, I have no idea how these all relate. This is like in between a wand and a cup. So there you go. It was a cup. All right. So it's upright. You have found a crewmate who you can fully trust and respect. This may be a friend, a romantic partner, or a colleague. Remember that a healthy relationship is filled with compromises. This card may also indicate the need to make amends with someone. And we've actually like pulled several of these. I know that there was one with Buffy, maybe two with Buffy different times in the last few months. So I mean, like it's a good confirmation that we have good people with us. But it's also like as sorry, one fell. I'll have to get it. So as they go, it's definitely sort of like this like feel of like, well, let's just be cautious, both with ourselves and with them. And maybe it's just like being cautious of feelings, being aware of feelings and differing abilities and like I don't know, like I'm having this problem because I'm like, I want to do stuff, I want to do stuff, and not everyone wants to do stuff right now, you know? So the card fell out. Let's see which one it is. Okay. I'm going to take it as the next one then. Um, actually the last card that was pulled. But clearly it it uprighted itself, if that makes sense. It was reversed. So take it as a, like a sideways maybe. Could go either way. So the world, which is really, of course, the spiraling of the universe. Now I have to find it. This is why I didn't do it before. I have problems with the well, pretty much with like numbers in general. All right. So it's the world and the galaxy. And now it's uprighted itself, like I said. So things have already changed, right? The world signals a deeper understanding of the universe and our place within it. Although it may foretell the end of a journey, it also points the way to a new beginning. What better representation can the world have than our own galaxy? It's true. Overflowing with planets, civilizations, and adventure. Life on the final frontier will always carry risk. The crew of the USS Enterprise recognizes that reward as vast as the Milky Way itself. And that's it sort of is a daring, isn't it, for us to go out into the world, into the bigger bad, scariness of life itself. A lot of times I'll be like, it's not like I want to die. It's more like I want to pause. I don't want to be in this place. I want and like isn't there not that nameless, wordless want where you're just like and like you don't want it. You want something to end. Not yourself, like something. Um, and it's difficult to like process and hold on to and feel. And I think it is what makes us human. I'm not sure a deer or a raccoon, or I mean, I don't know these things, but I don't think that they have existential crises. But maybe they do. Talk to your dog next time. Hey, you having an existential crisis? I know my cats never did. They just told me what to do. All right. So it's upright. Like the Federation's exploration of the galaxy, the world has given you a deeper connection to the universe. You have completed your mission and gained a greater understanding of both the material and spiritual realms. Allow your experience to carry you forward as you begin your new adventure. Okay, now that was our end card. Okay, that was the final one that I drew from this deck. So I was like, oh, it's totally, that's it. God damn it. Okay, so perhaps I need to stop waving my left hand. That's true. Yes. Okay. Let's forget that Kim is not in her car and is still flinging stuff around. But like I said, it means the reading changed. So that means there are actually options, maybe not the reading change. So the option is let's do this. It was reversed, right? The world. So out among the stars, it's sometimes hard to know when the voyage is truly over. You're having difficulty accepting the end of your mission. Perhaps you're still uncertain about its true nature, and maybe you're anxious about what will follow it. Reflect on the lessons you learned and the hardships you have endured. Why do you hesitate to bring this journey to its conclusion? Okay, so that might be for someone. I thought that was for me. And yet, I don't know. Something changed. Like I said, you know, sometimes things do. Everyone has their own decisions and everyone's linked. So you never know. I mean, like, I'll go with it. All right. So she stayed. And she stayed in position. You can see that it's Guyan. Guyan. Yeah. Okay. Now I also have to find her. She's a little less scary. All right. This is Wheel of Fortune. All right. And it was inverted. So since it fell, we'll take it sideways. Okay. So that when I say take it sideways, I mean like put a question mark. It could go either way. It's a true Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune spins ever onward, regardless of our wishes and fears. It reminds us that sometimes fate is simply out of our hands. Over her long life, Guinan has learned the truth of this lesson better than most. She uses this hard-won wisdom to guide and inspire the crew of the Enterprise, encourage them to face their fate with conviction rather than resignation. So go forth and do it no matter what. And you have to do it anyway, but you could just make yourself miserable doing it anyway. Terrific, right? Yeah. Now, upright. Guinan is always happy when her crew meets good fortune. However, even the luckiest opportunity requires preparedness. If you're to make the most of it, be watchful for an unexpected success or stroke of good luck, and reflect on what blessings may be coming your way and how best to meet them. Now, this is proper for any time. Just be prepared for blessings. Be prepared to be grateful and say thank you. It's not always easy. A lot of blessings come very mixed, very mixed. And like my book is pre-order, and I had like this like it was pretty ugly meltdown. And it was all internal, so I wasn't crying, but like uh existential crisis, maybe. Every like feeling that you could have. Plus, like I felt isolated and awful, and it's supposed to be a happy time. So like how do these things occur like that we feel? And I have to stop doing that with my left hand. And it happens. I guess we feel. I always attempted not to feel because I was taught, don't feel. You're bipolar. You're not supposed to have feelings. Um, Depends on, of course, who you speak with about that particular issue. And of course, we're all allowed feelings. I was just denied them. Reversed. Now, this is the way that it came for us twice. But like I said, it hopped out. So you have to like take it with the question mark, and we always can like expect blessings. Reverse. It looks like you might be drinking at 10 forward for all the wrong reasons. Be on the lookout for a setback, failed enterprise, or some other unexpected stroke of bad luck. However, there is still time to prepare for this misfortune. Brace yourself for what is to come and know that you have the strength to face it. There's always bad news. There's always the next bad news. There's always the best good news. And I've been told there's no such thing as happiness. I don't know if I've completely bought into it. I've been told that there's moments of joy that are interlocked, interlinked. But in between, we have different emotions, which makes sense. So there is no such thing as just like, I want to be happy, which is what I say. I want to be happy. But maybe I just want a lot more moments to be happy. And that is perhaps up to me and not the Wheel of Fortune, right? So that is that, on our wheel, we do choose and we also do not choose. It's twofold. Some things we have no control over. I'm a control freak. Sorry, man. We don't have control. It's really hard and really scary. And then other things, we do have total and absolute control. And sometimes we don't even want that control. But there you go. So responsibilities, don't really want them. And yet we have them. So I wouldn't take it as, oh, something negative is coming. Some unblessing is coming. I would just say life is coming. Maybe you're going to spill that bag of groceries. That tomato sauce is going to break. It's a mess. It's a hot mess. But you'll clean it up. It'll be fine. Move on. It doesn't have to be extraordinary and, life altering. Things can be. I mean, like, somebody else can walk in and be like, hey, I'll help with your spaghetti sauce. All things are possible. I don't make the universe. I pretend to be in it sometimes. I make my own universes. All right. So this is lore. For those of you who do not know and are just like, that's Data. Data is the brother. Okay, so this is lore, Data's brother, I guess I should say. He's evil. Okay, so he's represented as the devil. But he's sort of like almost too human, whereas Data is not human enough, right? He's actually the fool, which props to my friend Brian. He totally called it. I have to give him credit for that. 1 a.m. last night, I was like, I have this deck that I just bought. He's totally like Data's a fool. Well, yes, he is. All right. So the devil. The devil holds power over us by offering us our greatest desires, but his gifts are poisoned and lead inevitably to self-destruction. Like the devil, Lord deceives Data time and time again. He offers brotherhood, reconciliation, even their father's emotionship. But they are all false promises meant to manipulate Data and helping Lore accomplish his own selfish goal. All right, we're going to see this inverted. Okay. With the help of his crewmates, Data breaks Lore's hold over him and reclaims his autonomy. You are also successfully fighting back against something that wants to control you. Spiritual understanding has let you overcome temptation, though you may still feel vulnerable and weak. Continue to hold strong. You are on the right path. And if like the spiritual, like it just like struck me wrong. If spiritual is like the wrong word for you, it I mean knowledge, okay? Something deep within yourself. Self-knowledge. It doesn't have to be like this religious sort of like that's what I got as I read it and I was like, ooh, I got like the little like squiggly tingles of like, no, it's not that type of spiritual. Okay. It's more like type of spiritual when you stand in grass and you just like look at it and go, your grass. And I am standing on you. Like it's like this like experiential sort of feeling, not necessarily spiritual, okay, like in terms of religion. I think it's like in body feeling. There's something deep within inside you that, is helping you. And like, what is going on, your experience, perhaps not religion. Cause like I hear the word spiritual and everyone's like, it doesn't even mean Christian, like spiritualism is like all of them, right? So like I don't even like feel like the pagany sort of stuff like that I believe in. That's not like what they're talking about. I sorry, there was like a full body. um so I don't usually get like, well, I get ASMR a lot with poetry. I mean that's what makes me good, and that's what makes me a good teacher. um yeah, I don't know. All right, we have the inverted. I have to make sure. Sorry, 9 of starships. I hate when they put like the 9 on here, right, as a digit, right, numerically, and they have it, high X, Roman numeral, and I'm like, do you really have to confuse me? I already have issues. Y'all already know Kim's issues. I tell more on this on my videos than I do in real life. It's amazing to me. All right, reverse. You are so obsessed with material rewards that you have neglected there's that word again. All right, we're going to try it again. You are so obsessed with material rewards, you've neglected your spiritual growth. Reflect on what you lack within, not without. This card may also indicate dissatisfaction with the reward offered. Have you been cheated, or is this just greed? Oh, wow, that's nice. That's where it ends now instead of the world. Okay. Well, or is this just greed? That again doesn't really have to be like spiritual and sense of religion, right? It might just be a sense of knowing oneself. Like I said, I was just telling you about like this huge blessing that, like even archaeologists are like, oh, you're getting a book. I haven't even had a book, and I'm like, okay, but you're an archaeologist. I want to be an archaeologist. I want to be a real girl. I do. I haven't figured out how to do that yet, but someday I'll figure out how to be a real something. But they, like how you don't know what you really have, even like with somebody else's gaze. So like those archaeologists are like, yeah, she has books. And I don't mean like that in like in terms of like, oh my God, she is so great. I am like a fangirl, a fanboy, whatever. Right? It's much more like a not even a respect issue. I'm trying to figure it out. It's like they have that feeling within them that I have with them, like what if I was a writer and And I have like, what if I was a real archaeologist? And they're like, what if I was a real writer and I didn't just like diary, that sort of thing, And like somehow I think we're more than this. I haven't, this is the questions, right? Like, how are we more than this? I am not a real writer, and that is not imposter syndrome. Something in me says, man, no, not real, not just. There's more. Either I can become a better writer, which I'm learning meter and like diapotics and blah 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 blah. Sure. But there's something more. I want to be an archaeologist. I've always wanted to be an archaeologist when I want to grow up. And yet, how do I become that? I would have to, like there's this whole list of obstacles. Am I willing to go through them? Am I willing to pay the money? Am I willing to, I don't know. I don't know. But that is where we're at this question. This blessing or whatever that we have. Other people are like, oh yeah, yeah. And we might be like, yeah. Oh, it's my third book. Mm, it happens. We're human. People don't always allow us to be human. We don't allow us to be human. And personally, I've always said I was an alien. So like you can't take what I say about being human as being human because in Girl Scout camp, I convinced everyone that I was an alien from sonar. And I still agree with it. I do think that that is where that girl comes from, who I very much identify with. Just so that you know just how weird I am and like why like life advice you have to take with like this. Well, she doesn't actually make money. She makes more on tarot than writing. Just take it with a grain of salt. All right. All right. This hack comes with a very nice course Westfill. Okay. Yeah. For $3. Sure. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying run out and like get your cards, Books a Million. But they were on the sale and I was like, okay, well, I have to show you the before I really shuffle. You can see this back. I really like it. It looks like there's like a not butterfly, maybe a moth over there. But like, oh man, it showed itself to me. That means if it shows, I have to take it in my head. Look at that. That is kind of cute. Let me get it up close. Got a little snail. It has like a little house going on. All right. It says blaze a trail. Okay. I'll see what they say in a second. I wanna actually shuffle Gilded. I actually like this illustration. I haven't looked at it. I only shuffled this. I pre-shuffled, and then I was gonna shuffle again. Future. Okay. So we got Blaze Trail, Merkaba. I don't know. I'll look it up. And masculine feminine. Or yin yang, whatever you want to call it. If you polar opposites. I really like sometimes get very squicked. Um it's very I don't know. I don't necessarily like people being like, oh, masculine, feminine. Are they numbered? I don't know, guys. This is why. Mm, you should think that B would come first, right? It has like this crystal use, 5 themes, and then it talks about the ground down. It doesn't talk about E. I'm like, what? They have be love. Okay. Well, we have Blaze a Trail. I have no idea like how who knows. Maybe that's why it was $3. But beautiful illustrations. Collect nostalgia. Here or there, you make your home. Push forward with ease. Home is where you make your life, so best not to be too attached to one spot in particular. You can pick up and start over wherever you're called to be. While we blaze our own sparkling trails, we have the opportunity to collect moments as memories that stay with us as long as needed. Travel light with your possessions, as they do not go with you once you leave the physical realm. The love shared and insight gained are the treasures that go on with you. What are you leaving in your trail for others to remember you by? I'm like, hot damn, this is my existential crisis right here. I always ask, what is home? What is belonging? I belong nowhere right now. I have no home. I live in a house. I sort of like live in my car a lot, but my city is decaying. It's getting worse every day. My house is in chaos. My parents are aging. My dad fell down the steps, if I haven't mentioned it. And so like we're moving stuff of his downstairs. Everything's in transition. And sometimes transitions feel awful. And I'm a girl of ritual, and I've been told, you do the same thing, you have the same habit over every day, pretty much just to stay sane. That's for me because of my bipolar, my everything's. If you go down the list, we don't need to. But like so, like if you, this is the search, I guess is what I'm saying. This is the question that I always have. I don't know. Perhaps you all have found home, and have made home. I am I am working on it. I am traveling. And what do we leave behind? That's always a question, right? It's one I can't answer. All right. Our next one is Merkaba. Okay. And I have a feeling it's going to be Merkaba. The inherent quality of your soul is light. Merkaba, light, spirit, body or soul, mind, body, the connection points of the self. You are a vortex of brilliant light love that is currently manifested in a human body. This does not limit you to only linear physical experiences on the earth plane. However, you can awaken different dimensions of the self and travel in your interdimensional field of light through transcendental meditation, astral travel, and intention setting. Remember that this is a multidimensional, expansive journey. Will help a daily grind seem so much more manageable. Don't be downtrodden by little things that irk you, for they exist as teachers. Remain strong in the power of the light. Okay, if that's for someone, great. I'm glad. I can understand wanting to have stuff not irk you, but there is nothing wrong of having darkness. There is nothing wrong with feeling negativity. What we do with it. Sometimes we have to hold it a while. Sometimes you hold it a long time. The idea is that we don't necessarily pass on the darkness or whatever you want to call it, the negativity. Sometimes somebody can hold our hand through it. And sometimes we just have to let it pass. So I don't like when and you'll hear me with different card decks. I don't like when everyone's like love and light, you can only have the light. That's not true. I mean, having the darkness is part of being human too. And we can feel that. And yes, please. Kim is in her sunlight, right? I am a huge sunlight person. I need it, the entire year. Usually I have a sunlight on, like in my car. I go through about 3 a year because I use them so much and like I break them. So like, yes, you have to know what you do to keep happy. You have those happy lights, you do it. If you need to burn a candle every day, if you whatever, you have your rituals and you have your things that will bring in the light. You're allowed to have that negativity. you're allowed to feel bad sometimes. I would hope you don't feel bad all the time. Sometimes we do. We go through stages. A lot of times we can get help. And either help with the person. I'm a medication person, but other people are not. So we can hold each other while we go through these emotions. And like that's also a different type of like holding like the light and like showing the light is just being with a person as they go through transition. Sorry, I'm having a hot moment. I had flashback. Um, you know that I had a tragedy recently, and I can't call it a tragedy. Sorry. A woman transitioned while I was holding her hand and had a moment. All right, this is the masculine feminine that you can choose your words, okay? Just think of more like opposites. And like, it's not necessarily like the opposite attracts sort of thing. I have a feeling it's like a balance sort of thing. I do not know how this works at all. There must be a way of like reading this. It's not alphabetical. Hmm. I can always talk to it if I can't find it. I wanted to see what they had to say about it. Okay. I need to find it. I don't know why it's here. Moonshine plus sunshine equals balance self. Balance, yeah. Luminous lunar dreams illuminate solar logic. The dream state informs the waking state of our minds. First, we feel through the feminine aspects associated with the moon, shadows of lyrical, emotional, flowing aspects of the self. Recognition of these areas helps us to release fears and hone in on our true desires. This informs our mind of goals and ambitions, which the masculine aspects of the sun can achieve with power, determination, and confidence. A healthy balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine archetypes within our mental awareness is key to living a conscious life. Practice balance in your lunar solar selves. And I even don't always say the sun is masculine. Like a lot of people are like, it's a sun god. And I'm like, hmm, does it have to be? I know, contrarianism. Now, I have to find it again because I do bibliomancy sometimes. I think that's what it's called, where you look through a book and you find like a message. This is unalone, which I always feel alone. So I have to read. I'm going to read to you as well. Inky Cosmos, souls. From whence we came, we return, unalone, in love. We are suns, moons, stars, planets, galaxies beyond comprehension, time and space. We are fluid in nature, shimmering, inky cosmos souls. Etheric soul creatures are amorphous and holographic in nature, light bodies that are boundless in love. Dreams, visions, and epiphanies come to us from our soul groups stationed throughout the universe. You intuitively know this, for we are everything, oneness, the void, blackness, source, all that is. Insert your. These voids are empty matter. Excuse me, all that is, known by many names, is ever expanding, unlimited. These voids are empty of matter so that light and energy come through to create. Nothing and everything is in tandem, the infinite space to create with unlimited capacity. I admit I'm tearing up. That that was like my card, man. Hmm. I hope it was yours too. Um, I had, like I said, I'm in Morgantown. I'm bored a lot. The gent that I come see and visit sleeps a lot. Okay. So found this like writer's block, refresh your creative senses and abilities. Okay. So like, I don't know if you guys do crystal grids, right? I mean, we might have to talk about it sometime. I do Reiki. I'm a Reiki master, teacher in one and a Reiki master in the other. And they're both the same type of Reiki, but one is more hands-on and one is more energetic with hands off. I don't know. Um, so they have clear quartz, smoky quartz, amazonite, amethyst, lapradite, and plutite. This nice little handy dandy thing. And like, you know what? I'm probably not even going to take it out because it's already sort of in like this gritty. So I can just like be like Reiki it. Sorry, I had to show off. Yeah. And this is wisdom also. Yeah. So like it's supposed to represent the different elements and stuff. So they have clear quartz, lapis lazuli, black onyx, Exulian jade. I pronounced that wrong. And rose quartz. So you can see, but it's already like in this like a little thing. You can actually make star patterns of different ones. I suggest always having at least one clear quartz as sort of like a focus. I actually at one point had eight going around in a circle, and then I had one in the middle, and then I had others. And like it depends what you want to do. But anyway, that's my offering to you. Do some crystal gridding. I don't know why, but there you have it. So you had Star Trek and weird mysticism, plus Kim sobbing. Well, I did sob, internally sobbing. Now I'm gonna go take a bath. All right, be well. Keeps take care. Have a great week. And if you're getting this, it's not October 1st, the first week of October. It's okay. It can be timeless. You can like get these at any time. And just like see what you can take. And if you do not resonate with anything, just say no. And that's true of any tarot, any divination. You do not have to accept what somebody is telling you. This card means this. This is going to happen to you. No, reject it. That's my tip. All right. Take care. Be well. So it is.